Here at 80s Horror Central, I've already covered and reviewed the first 3 Watcher films, so I'm glad to finish off the series review by checking out the 4th and final entry in the straight-to-video franchise, Watchers 4, also known as Watchers Reborn. It's an entertaining, if not redundant, B-movie that features a great cast, decent gore, and some fun, quirky moments.
I got an animal loose in the area. No! Oh God, no!
The plotline may sound familiar to you. A secret search and destroy government experiment involving a psychically linked super-intelligent dog and a hideous monster both escape the lab. The monster, known as the Outsider, is intent on killing the dog, leaving a trail of bloody bodies wherever the dog named Einstein turns up. Einstein eventually befriends a detective out to avenge the murder of his partner. The detective and Einstein team up with the female scientist responsible for the experiments, and must find a way to capture or kill the Outsider. A shady government official is tasked with eliminating both the dog and the Outsider, as well as anyone who gets in the way or has knowledge of the experiment.
I know you have been working on something top secret down there, but come on! Don't tell me that I'm going on a duck hunt if the woods are full of bears. I want to know, how afraid should I be of this AE-74 thing?
Unfortunately, very.
While Watchers Reborn may not be the most original entry in the series, coming off like a weird mishmash remake of the first 2 films, it does feature a good cast and still manages to be an entertaining B-movie. Much like Part 2, this movie tries to follow the Dean R. Koontz novel a little bit more closely, which probably explains why it seems a bit redundant as Part 2 stuck close to the source material as well. I still found Watchers Reborn to be a fun outing and decent sequel when considering the low budget and repetitious plot. The legendary Mark Hamill stars as the detective who teams up with Einstein and the scientist, and Hamill is great in the lead. He's always enjoyable to watch, and he turns in a rather subdued performance compared to some of his more over-the-top B-movie roles.
And you are?
Agent Johnson, Detective Murphy.
You want to tell me what the hell's going on here?
No.
Well, I think you're gonna have to. I got a partner in there lying in pieces. Now something's up and I want to know what the hell's going on.
Federal agent, LA cop. You got it? And I don't owe you anything but the opportunity to get out of my way before it becomes a problem for you.
Lisa Wilcox, who horror fans will know as Alice from A Nightmare on Elm Street's Part 4 and 5, is rather annoying and wooded in her role as a scientist. I always thought she was solid in the Freddy films, so I was kind of surprised how bad she was in this. Another solid performance besides Hamill's in the film was Stephen Mocht, another actor who's no stranger to the horror genre, having starred in Stephen King's The Graveyard Shift and played the dad in Monster Squad. Mocht is great as the sleazy and ruthless government agent tasked with taking out the experiments and any witnesses. He and Hamill add some seriously entertaining acting to the proceedings.
We made the dog in the lab, too. It's probably smarter than half of you.
We didn't make a Frankenstein and set him free, Doctor.
Go for it, you furry freak!
This is really a heartwarming scene. What? A family reunion. Mom and Dad and their freak of a child and their talking dog.
I think the Outsider monster looks the best in this film. Gone is the weird insect look they gave him in Part 3, and so is the reused terror within alien look he got in Part 2. Special effects wizard and Friday the 13th Part 7 director John Carl Buechler directed the film, which explains why the monster looks decent in this outing, and why the special effects are quite good for the budget. There's a decent amount of cheap gore in the film, and the movie does feature some impressive stunts. The action can be staged a little clunky sometimes, and there are some odd editing choices, but overall the kills and action are serviceable and solid.
Pet me.
It does do something original in regards to the monster. The outsider actually speaks towards the end of the film. It attempts to make the monster somewhat sympathetic and creates a mother-monster plotline between him and the scientist. The outsider actually tries to defeat the bad guy to save everyone near the end of the film. It was an interesting twist, but I don't feel like it was as strong of an emotional payoff as Part 2's finale between siblings, dog, and monster. But Part 3 followed the character of Ferguson from Part 2, albeit recast. This entry has nothing to do with previous installments of the franchise. The relationship between Mark Hamill and the dog isn't that strong in this film, especially when compared to Einstein's relationship with Corey Haim in the first film, or his friendship with the character of Ferguson in Parts 2 and 3. Mark Hamill's detective character has a traumatic event in his past that he's haunted by, that he seems to get over pretty quick at the film's finale. With how lame and easily he overcomes his past fears, you wonder why they even gave his character the backstory or arc.
How'd you teach him to do that?
Well, are you kidding? You didn't teach him to eat crap like that. He picked it up on his own.
Watchers is one of those series where I'm surprised it got so many sequels. The original Watchers was the box office bomb, and it managed to be one of the top video rentals in 1989, and a cable TV hit, which meant straight-to-video cash-in sequels. And you can always count on Roger Corman to make a buck. Watchers 4 is a very difficult film to track down. It's easily the least watched of the franchise. And it's a bit of a shame, since it is an entertaining monster on the loose movie, and features a cool cast. I wish I would have rented this one back in the day, but I am glad I finally tracked down a copy and watched and finished off my Watchers series review. If I was ranking the Watchers movies, I would say this is better than Part 3, but not as good as the first two entries.
No, as a matter of fact, I have not been smoking anything yet today. I don't know if these guys are cops or gangsters or what the hell they are. And I'll tell you what, they were packing some kick-ass firepower, too.
I take it that was aimed at me.
Hey, you know what I don't need? I don't need a lecture on compassion from a woman that's been genetically engineering the ultimate killing machine.
Okay.
Afraid.
You're talking. That's good.
Some kind of ape or whatever.
Is everything all right here? You okay?
Yeah. Listen, she got run off the road by a couple gangbangers.